So what is that? So 30 seconds in, I'm hoping that I've managed to just get my bow ahead of the boats around me, and I'm now in a position where I can start thinking, do I want to tack or not? And the things that are going through my mind as to whether we want to tack is, firstly, is the shift right? And hopefully I'll know that from my pre-start, where I've just been up and down the beach a couple of times, got high and low numbers, trying to work out whether I'm knocked or lifted. If I'm lifting off the start line, I'm probably going to want to try and hold it, unless it's a tactical reason, to go to the side. But if not, then I'm going to be starting to think I want to tack. In that scenario, I'm looking for a clear lane to tack into, so it's all about which boats are around me. If you're not, you'll probably find that the boats over your left shoulder are probably going to start peeling away as well. So in time, you'll get an opportunity to tack. But you need to be thinking about which boats are coming across on port ahead of you, who's going to be tacking, and how we're going to get that clear lane. Sometimes it might pay to tack, duck the boat immediately to windward of you. That will get you a nice clean lane on the lip and out. On the sort of lift or header question, one thing that sometimes people struggle with, and I've definitely got myself in this category, is knowing whether a lift is a small lift or not, where you want to tack on it straight away and gain every little bit that you can out of it, or whether it's one of these persistent wind bends and persistent headers where you've got to sail into it right to the very end, then tack and come out looking really peachy. I'm no expert at this at all, but what Mark Russell sort of recommends is the best way to know by the work that you do pre-start. So like, if you look back at yesterday, the wind was flicking for about 20 degrees, quite rapidly. I thought they were quite unpredictable, but they were fairly short shifts. So I'd gone into the race straight away thinking, well, there's not going to be a persistent wind bend. I'm just going to try and take it as it comes through. I'm not going to try and sail to one corner. The other things that you can be looking for is features on the race course. There's one thing to look for is convergence and divergence. I don't know if you're all aware of this. Wind over land is backed compared to wind over sea. Two, without knowing a great deal about this, has to do with the friction of land. Wind goes over land and back to wind. So as it comes out to sea, it veers, it goes right, which means that if you're close to a shore, you can often get a force, if you're beating towards the shore, you can get a full lift over the shore. Mark Russell, when he's pretty senior, he's guy with the sail bend here from the website. He says, in this wind direction, look out for full lift as you come into the wind mark. And that's all about the convergence and divergence. I'm not really the expert to teach you all this. If you're interested, go ahead and look at that. I decided yesterday that really wasn't a major effect on the race. I didn't think there was a regular full lift into the mark. It was generally, I thought, pretty random, pretty short shift, take them as they come. So I didn't worry too much about that. The other thing, obviously, is tide as well. You might want to bang a corner and say, well, the tide is more of a priority than this little shift. But again, I don't think the tide is pretty equal. So much so I didn't really pay much attention to it. I didn't really test it in different places. I just felt pretty equal across the race. I didn't worry too much about that. So I've decided that I'm on short lifts and heads. Pretty random, pretty unpredictable, and it's going to take them when I can get them. Turn away from the start line and I'm just in knots, I'm back straight away. I've got a clear lane, and I'm doing quite well against the fleet. Because it is quite random though, because I've got no confidence in my ability to predict when the next shift's going to come through, what I'm saying to myself is I don't want to get too far separated from the fleet. It's all about sort of risk management. And the further you get away from the fleet, the greater your gain, but also the greater your lose. It's all in proportion to itself. I think we call it the leverage effect. So the further you out on the lever, the more there is to gain and lose. In big fleets, and for us this is quite a big fleet in the Larks, I think a conservative strategy generally pays off quite well. Probably this week, if you want to win the event, it's going to take a few bullets. so you may not want to do a conservative structure, but depending on where your goal is, certainly for my goal, I think a conservative structure is probably going to pay quite well. So for the whole week, I'm not going to be looking to bang any corners at all. I'm thinking I want to always have boats to one side of me. But even if I'm on a little lift, getting out towards the corner, I'm going to try and chip back into the middle of the course if I can. And a gain on the race course is only banked when you cross the wind of the boat that you're racing against. It's only what they call a paper gain. If you're out on port tack and you start to lift, and you're thinking, I'm really looking really good, and keep going, tack. It's only when you come back across the rest of the fleet that gain is actually realised. And there's two ways you can do that going up the beat. You can either tack and cross the fleet, and then you gained it, you banked it. Or if everybody tacks, you're thinking, well, how can I, we're all on the same tack, how can I get upwind of these guys? And it's a slightly sort of counter-intuitive thing to do, but bearing away, taking your speed, putting off in front of the fleet is actually a conservative strategy for sailing up the fleet. And that you should quite seriously think about doing in some scenarios. If you're the furthest right boat, you've got your gain, then foot across, because if the next shift is a port lift, if you're out here and tack, all this lot are then going to come up inside you. So actually footing across in front of them, when that port lift comes, you're then away. And that's something that, in these sort of conditions that we had yesterday, is absolutely ideal for that sort of tactic, because you are still very exposed out to the right-hand side. And you're going to be thinking, how can I get back to take some of that exposure away? It's all about managing your risk.
But yesterday's scene couldn't really bear off and sort of generate much speed to a certain extent. It was so overpowered. Did you find it still bear off and get an advantage from that?
I think you could, yeah. And I think there was people that were sailing too high yesterday. I mean, obviously the situations where you've got dirty air outside you, the lanes don't allow you to bear away. I mean, it's got to take each situation as it comes, and you're of course sailing your fleet. But if you do get that position where and you often find it when you're banged out in the corner, that you have got more opportunities to do that. But when you think about it, we went scorching down the reaches, didn't we, quite quick. It's finding that sort of balance in between somewhere to put on. So that's all the sort of thinking for the middle of the beat. We're now starting to approach the windward mark, and just sort of things that are going through my mind as we do that. The first one is the ley lines are the absolute enemy. Don't go anywhere near the ley lines until the last minute if you can. They are the absolute enemy. By being on a ley line, all you're going to do is lose. Every scenario, you lose if you're on a ley line. Okay? So why is that? Let's just think that through. I'm on the starboard ley line going into the windward mark, and the wind heads. Okay, so I'm now not laying the windward mark. All the boats that are underneath me will tack onto the port and lift into the windward mark. So they were all behind me until that header came through, and they're now ahead of me because of that header. Okay? The other scenario, I'm on the starboard ley line and the wind lifts. Yes, I can put on, all these boats that were behind me and to leeward of me now lift up to the buoy and lay it. And they've gone from being behind me to being at least equal with me. To the ley lines, if you can, avoid them like this way. You're going to lose in every scenario other than the wind doesn't shift at all.
But the thing is, even if it doesn't shift at all, if you get on the starboard ley line too early and lots of people tack inside you, you'll get so much dirty air you're not going to make it anyway, are you?
Absolutely. So you tend to sail the great circle route, go up high, sail much further than everybody else, and that just makes it doubly nice. The problem with that though, of course, is if you're not going onto the ley lines, you run the risk of coming into the